I remember many years ago, this is probably 18 years ago, around that time frame. I'd been married for about a year or so, and I was teaching in a Christian school and had this sense of a calling and a sense of what God wanted to do and all this stuff. But I was in a trying season. It was discouraging. I wasn't seeing things happen. And so, what's going on here? And then, my wife and I went to this retreat that the church we were at was hosting, and I think it was like a young adult retreat. We went to hear, there was this speaker that people were talking about. He was like an old school Pentecostal preacher who, moved in a prophetic gifting. And he calls us to the front, and he begins to release, prophetic word. He talked about, being sent into the harvest. He talked about deliverance. He talked about how I was going to lay hands on those that were bound, and the chains were going to be broken. He said, the Lord will give you a word of deliverance. And he's speaking all these things. But then at one point he says this, and he was prophesying in Old English, King James Old English. And he said these words, "Knowest thou not that this is the time of preparation?" And when he said those words, it was like a light bulb going on. And all of a sudden, I understood. All of a sudden, my life made more sense. And I understood why I was going through certain things and why there were certain restrictions, why there were certain refinements, why there were certain trials. And I believe the Lord wants to say that to some people in this room today. Knowest thou not that this is the time of preparation?